It lasted just 50 seconds, and her dad says it was enough to change her life forever. These were the heartbreaking words of a father speaking about his 14-year-old daughter after losing her to bullying in school. Adriana Kuch was born on March 11, 2008, in Toledo, Ohio. From an early age, her life was filled with challenges. Her mother passed away unexpectedly when she was just 7 years old. Despite this, Adriana's family remembers her as a bright and adventurous girl who loved bringing joy to others. Her father, Michael Kuch, an Army airborne soldier, often said she was the light of their family. Adriana was raised by her father and stepmother, Sarah Kuch, along with her siblings. She loved spending time with her family and friends. On the surface, Adriana's life seemed full of promise. But like many teenagers, she faced struggles that weren't always visible. While Adriana was in her 9th grade at Central Regional High School, she faced persistent online bullying from a classmate for a couple of years. The tension between them grew worse over time, and according to her father, the girl had been sending Adriana threatening messages for months. The messages escalated, making Adriana feel increasingly anxious about going to school. On February 1, 2023, while Adriana and her boyfriend were walking together in the school hallway, a group of girls suddenly confronted her. Without warning, one of the girls threw a water bottle at Adriana, hitting her, and then escalated the situation by physically attacking her. The bully's friend stood nearby, recording the entire incident on her phone, laughing and making no attempt to stop what was happening. Other students stood around, watching but not stepping in to help. Adriana's boyfriend tried to intervene, doing his best to separate her from the attackers, but he was unable to stop them entirely. The incident only lasted 50 seconds, but to Adriana, each second felt like an eternity filled with humiliation and pain. After the attack, Adriana was badly injured, covered in bruises from head to toe, and even lost consciousness multiple times. Despite how serious her injuries were, the school chose to take her to the nurse's office instead of calling an ambulance. When Adriana's father, Michael Kuch, asked the school to report the attack to the police, the superintendent, Triantafylos Parlapanides, claimed that it wasn't school policy to involve law enforcement unless the injuries were considered severe.
We've always notified the police, but we don't always press the charges. It depends on the severity of the incident.
This response was shocking. What exactly did severe mean to them? Would they have acted differently if Adriana had broken bones or been hurt even worse? There were no strict consequences for the bullies. Only one of them was suspended, while the other three faced no punishment at all. Feeling untouchable because no one held them accountable, the bullies took things even further. They posted the video of Adriana being attacked on TikTok and Snapchat, turning her humiliation into something the entire school could see and talk about. Adriana was already struggling to process what had happened, but things only got worse when she was mocked and ridiculed by other students. For a 14-year-old child, the constant judgment and cruelty became unbearable. Feeling trapped and with no way to escape the pain, Adriana saw no other way out. Just 2 days after the incident, on the morning of February 3, 2023, Adriana was found unresponsive in her bedroom closet. She was wearing her favorite jacket, a small but heartbreaking detail that showed how much pain she had been hiding. And just the night before committing the unthinkable, Adriana had sent a final text to her boyfriend at exactly 10:46 p.m., simply saying, "Good night." As her family struggled to understand what had happened, Michael explained that it wasn't the physical pain from the attack that hurt Adriana the most, but the humiliation of knowing her classmates had watched, laughed, and shared the video, turning her pain into public ridicule.
Getting hit in the face with the water bottle didn't hurt Adriana. What hurt Adriana was the embarrassment and humiliation. They just kept coming at her.
News of Adriana's death spread quickly through the school, leaving everyone in shock and sorrow. Her friends were heartbroken.
I was really mad because I know she didn't just do it for no reason. She did it because of people that bullied her.
She was a really nice girl.
She always knew how to light up a room.
It was clear that Adriana had made a positive impact, showing just how thoughtful and compassionate she truly was. Many classmates blamed the school administration, saying they failed to take bullying seriously and didn't do enough to prevent such a tragedy.
I genuinely think that the problem is Central Regional. It's just the district.
The school gave her no support system, and I feel like if she had that, this wouldn't have happened.
Even after Adriana's passing, the school's response remained slow. 2 days later, they sent a letter to parents addressing the incident. However, many felt it was an attempt to shift focus rather than take responsibility.
They didn't send out a letter until like 2 days after she died. They tried to hide it. They didn't want anyone talking about it.
This tragedy didn't just affect Adriana's friends and classmates. It also deeply hurt her neighbors and the entire community. One of Adriana's neighbors shared a story about her bravery. The neighbor explained how Adriana once jumped into a pool to save their child from drowning, risking her own safety to help.
She was like a daughter to me. She was at my house almost
breakfast every day.
This act of kindness showed just how selfless and caring Adriana was. A similar story was shared by Lucy Farrell, the mother of Jojo, a child with autism who attended the same school and grade as Adriana. Lucy spoke about the special bond Adriana had formed with Jojo while working closely with him in his classroom. Jojo's teacher shared how much he adored Adriana, mentioning her unique ability to make him feel happy and loved. Lucy recalled how Adriana would hold Jojo's hand on school trips and how his face would light up whenever she walked into the room. Her kindness and patience left a lasting impression on Jojo and his family. Lucy expressed her heartfelt gratitude, saying they were deeply thankful for the love Adriana showed to Jojo and the joy she brought into his life. Adriana's selflessness and compassion touched everyone who knew her, showing how truly extraordinary she was. Adriana's story became a rallying cry for change, exposing the deeper issues of bullying and how the Central Regional High School was failing to take it seriously. In the days following the tragedy, students and parents gathered outside the school to protest. More than 200 students refused to attend their classes, demanding justice for Adriana and accountability from the school. As protests grew, parents and students began coming forward with their own stories of bullying and violence within the school. One parent shared her own heartbreaking experience, explaining how her daughter had been bullied at school. She revealed that her child was physically assaulted by other students, and despite making multiple complaints to the administration, no action was taken.
My daughter was bullied last year. I came here, I wrote letters, I demanded meetings, I filed police reports, I contacted the superintendent. Nothing changed.
Feeling helpless, she ultimately decided to transfer her daughter to another school. Slowly, many videos of bullying at Central Regional High School began to surface, exposing the troubling reality of what students were enduring. More and more students came forward, sharing how their complaints about bullying were ignored by the administration despite their pleas for help. One of Adriana's friends, Brianna O'Brien, a former student of Central Regional High School, publicly shared her own painful experiences. Brianna revealed that she had been attacked multiple times during her time at the school. Instead of addressing her concerns, the administration dismissed her complaints, telling her to grow up.
They said, "You can grow up." I have scars still to this day.
And when you went back to the school after being treated and asking to be seated separate from the student, they told you to grow up?
Yes. Feeling unsupported and unsafe, Brianna eventually made the difficult decision to transfer to a different school, leaving behind the toxic environment she had endured. This culture of bullying had been going on at Central Regional High School for years. Reviews from as far back as 7 to 8 years ago show people complaining about bullying and how teachers failed to step in. One review, with the most likes, read, "I was constantly bullied, and no one really did anything to stop it." Another echoed a similar sentiment. "Horrible. Constantly bullied, and no one tried to stop it no matter what. Good teachers, but too much bullying." As anger toward the school grew, Superintendent Triantafyllos Parlapanides made statements that not only shocked Adriana's family and the community, but also confirmed why the teachers never punished the bullies. It seemed they were the bigger bullies themselves, as proven by Superintendent's actions. Instead of taking accountability for the school's failure, he publicly blamed Adriana's father for the decision she had made. He falsely claimed that Adriana's mother had committed the unthinkable because her father had an affair with another woman, who later became her stepmother. He even went as far as saying her father now had to eat a sandwich. These appalling comments outraged Adriana's family and the community even further. Instead of addressing the school's failures, the superintendent tried to shift the blame onto Adriana's father. Such remarks from Superintendent Triantafyllos Parlapanides faced widespread backlash from the community. Parents, students, and community members were outraged and demanded his immediate resignation. As protests grew and media attention intensified, parents and students demanded the school hold a board meeting to address the growing outrage. They wanted answers and action from the administration, who many believed had long ignored the serious issue of bullying within the school. At the meeting, parents shared heartbreaking stories of how their children had been bullied, often for months or years, while the school ignored their complaints. Students also came forward, bravely recounting their own experiences of harassment and how the administration had failed to take meaningful action.
I've tried so hard to just talk, to just try for you guys to listen to me, for everybody here to try and listen to us.
Hearing what happened to Adriana was absolutely disgusting.
She tried and she was ignored, and so were so many other students. She already reported numerous reports about how she was being bullied, and you guys just sat there and did nothing.
Many at the meeting directly called for Superintendent Parlapanides to resign, accusing him of failing to protect the students he was supposed to serve. Under heavy pressure from the protests and public outcry, Parlipanides ultimately stepped down, a decision that many believed was long overdue. However, instead of acknowledging the school's issues, the acting superintendent, Doug Corbett, denied there was any problem with violence or bullying at the school.
Everyone at Central Regional School District and high school mourns the loss of Adriana Kuch. Based on our data alone, it doesn't indicate that we're a culture of violence. We don't condone that.
This denial only fueled the community's anger further. Parents and students demanded more than just the resignation of Parlipanides. They wanted the entire school administration to step down for failing to protect students and address the deep-rooted issues of bullying and neglect at the school. Following the intense protests and public outcry, the 4 girls involved in the attack on Adriana faced legal consequences. 3 of them were charged with aggravated assault, while 1 was charged with harassment for continuing to target Adriana, both during and after the incident. These charges marked a step toward accountability, but many in the community questioned if they would bring any real change to the culture of bullying at the school. While some felt a sense of justice, others remained skeptical. One student summed up the lingering doubts, saying, "I don't think they'll change. I feel like they're just showing they care, but they don't."
I don't feel like they're doing anything to stop it. I don't feel like there's going to be no change at all. Like, I just feel like as if like they're acting like they care, but in the end, I really don't think they do.